Welcome to today's Tuesday training. A few things we're going to run through today will be just a reminder about the bid buy train environment has been updated to version 15. We do have some spots available for the bid buy monthly training for February 13th. For our activity today, we're going to walk through releases off a master utilizing the catalog function, which is something that's kind of new for version 15, which we think is really cool and very useful. Also, we've had some questions about will the Granger Punchout functionality still be available? Yes, that's still going to work exactly the same way, and I'll walk you through that. As we're doing some of these bid by monthly trainings, some of the issues that you guys are seeing, or if you're new to the system, it just informed me that it's probably a good idea to walk through that, how you can do that release off a master as a catalog function, as well as that G2B Punchout. And then we have our fun fact of the day. So just as a reminder, the train environment was updated to version 15, so you guys can go and start to play in the sandbox a little bit and get used to what it's going to look like in version 15. The link is here, train.bidbuy.illinois.gov. The passwords for the train environment didn't change, but if you haven't been in there for a while, chances are you would have had to change your production environment password, but that train environment password might be different. So, you may need to reset the password, or you can always utilize that login assistance that is the button that's right below your login credentials. But if you still run into any issues after trying to do the login assistance, by all means, you can contact stateuser.bidbuy@illinois.gov. So we have a monthly bid buy training for version 15, Thursday, February 13th. These are lasting, 10 to about 3:30. They're in the Capital Development Board Computer Lab at the Stratton Building in room 320 here in Springfield. And we cover general navigation, releases off of masters, small purchases. And even though we run through small purchases, it's always with an eye on, hey, if you're doing an IFB or an RFP, some of the same general workflow is still going to be the same, right? So we're still going to create a requisition, convert it to bid, we award it at the bid tab, and move to purchase order. So we have that general workflow in bid buy. So if you are interested, contact cpogs.training@illinois.gov to register. Just another reminder, you're probably going to be seeing some new job aids, updated versions coming out, and really the changes are very minimal. Anytime we do make changes, I send out reminders or an email to SPOs and APOs, as well as we talk about it here on the Tuesday trainings. The changes that you're going to see are very minimal, and they're just there to mirror version 15. So there's a couple little things. For instance, how you create a requisition is just different. So that means that any job aid that you're creating a requisition, which is a lot of them, you will see a slight change. So another reminder, just to always check the version number on the bottom of that job aid. So it'll say 20.2, 20.3, 20.4, and just make sure that you're using the most up-to-date version. That way, you're doing it all correctly. So let me go out to the WebEx here, or to the bid buy. First thing we're going to talk about is the releasing off of masters and utilizing this catalog function. So at the very top, you have your search box, and then you have a drop down here. So you can search bids, contract blankets, purchase orders, requisitions, etc. It defaults to the catalog, and so I think this is a really cool functionality. So for instance, I want to release off of the laptop master contract. I'll select that it's in the catalog, and it's going to search there, and then it's going to bring up the screen, results for laptop. And so you have a list here of items, and this really operates in the way that, like a cart functionality, kind of the way we're used to shopping online. You can add items to a cart, and then it automatically starts a requisition for you. So let's say, we want to use this. You have your actual master blanket number is there. Let's say, we're going to get, let's say 5 of those. You put in your quantity, add to cart, And then you're going to see up in the right-hand corner, we actually have our shopping cart that has 5. If I click on the cart, now, if I need to update my items or my quantity, I can do that, and then I can add to a new rec. So if I click Add to a new requisition, now we're kind of off and running. We have a release requisition that has the Items tab, it starts in the Items tab, and it also, links back to the master contract. It has all your item information. It automatically has your vendor, right, because that's on that contract. And then you would go back and, complete all the tabs that you normally would on a normal release. So you have, but it kind of starts you at step 2, already having your items, your vendor, and some of your general information already completed. So I'm not going to walk through the entire, release process from here. That'll be on a different training, as well as just, following your job aids as well. But I think that's really handy, so you can search and just it kind of just goes along with how we shop online, actually. Okay, so that's the catalog function. Let's talk about the G2B Punchout. So, currently how it's configured in BidBuy is very similar. The only difference is you don't have a dedicated icon on your home screen. You actually have to select the settings. You'll get a little drop down, and then that G2B Punchout is right there. So I click G2B Punchout, and this is only for the Grainger contract. There is a potential that other contracts will be able to utilize this, but for right now it's just the Grainger contract. So I select the vendor, and then at the bottom of the screen I select Punchout, and what it's going to do is it's going to take me out to the Grainger website, and then I can fill my cart with items from Grainger's website, and then it'll take me back to the requisition, and I can complete that release. So let's say, let's select abrasives here. I don't know, what do we want to buy? Abrasive brushes and wheel kits. So you kind of walk through your items the way you normally would. Hey, we have a big list here. I don't know, let's pick that one. And then over here, I'm going to add it to my cart. And now I see that this item is in my shopping cart. And then I can view cart. I can continue to add different items into my cart, and then I will end up moving that back to a requisition. So, one question that we get quite a bit is, am I able to add items that aren't on the master contract? The answer is no. The way I understand it is, any item that you select within this Grainger Punchout is on the master contract. So, let's say that I've added all my items, I select Submit Cart, and then what it's going to do is say, yeah, are you sure you want to submit the cart? And then it's going to bring me back to BidBuy, and my items will be there on my requisition. So pretty handy. There we go. So I come back to have a release punch-out requisition number. You can see that my requisition is in progress status, and then I just have to complete the other fields the way I normally would. But it has my items completed, right? It's connecting back to the original master contract, so that's good. If you ever have any questions about the actual master contract, you can link right to it. You have your vendors, and then you can complete the rest of the fields that you need to. You still will, even on the punch out, you still will do, your accounting function. If you have ship to, bill to addresses differently, all of that's still going to operate the same way. So, for instance, on the accounting, we would do not applicable to make sure that it's hitting the proper approval paths, and then just continue your process from there. So, pretty cool process. And just for those of you that aren't aware that contract is out there, just as a reminder, once again, it's in the settings. Now, currently in version 13, it's its own little icon up on the right-hand corner that says, is the G2B Punchout. Now you go into settings, and you go into the drop-down. So pretty easy stuff. Okay, Yeah, the first slide said it was January 21st. You're right. I just didn't change that. It's the 28th, I promise. Then we have questions, are all agencies able to allow to purchase off Grainger using Punchout? Yes, I will double check, but the way I understand it is all agencies are able to purchase off that. But if you ever have a question like that, you can always go back to your actual master contract. So if I open up a master contract, it would be able to provide that specific information of who can purchase off that. So I clicked onto that blanket purchase order, and I can go out and look at the actual contract as well. So you can see who it is. Is it just Boss that can buy off that? Boss set up the contract, but the way I understand it is it's open to all agencies, but I'll double check and let everyone know as a follow-up, okay? Where do we find a list of all contracts we can order from? So all of your master contracts are built into the system. So, it's probably more likely if you can do the search function, if you search for the item rather than necessarily going through and looking at all master contracts. But how you do the master contract is you can go to advanced search, select document type, which would be a PO. And then depending on, the description, you can search there. You can also, I would say that the best way to do it is if you're looking for what items, is utilize the search for your items. That's probably the best way. And let's see, in the control tab is where you can see, thank you, Sandy. So going back to what agencies, you can see in there. So if you have any other follow-up questions, let me know. And I did get confirmation that Grainger is all agencies, yes. But in terms of a list, there's also, not to completely go off on a different tangent, but your joint purchasing, the UP team has developed a list that they put out on their newsletter, which I think is a really handy list of contracts that are available. And let me just show you exactly where that's at. If you go to the CPOGS website, on the bottom right hand, there's an icon that is for the Unified Procurement Program that has all the joint purchasing contracts. So a big shout out to our UP folks that put together this list of joint purchasing contracts as well as master contracts and upcoming master contracts that will be expiring. I think that's probably one of the most important things is to know, all right, when does this master contract expire? So here's the UP program. Here's the update newsletter. So, go out and take this. This kind of just talks about in general what the Unified Procurement Program is, as well as, we have recent renewals, recent contracts, expiring contracts. And here is the list. So here's recent joint purchase master contracts that are available, and then you have your bid by number here on the left-hand side. Recent joint purchase master contract renewals. And then these are the expiring joint purchase master contracts. So a really great list that's out there. And then here are some current postings that are are out there as well, with some links to the up job aid and the up home page. So go out and check that out. There's a lot of information there for you guys. All right, do we have any other questions? All right, so we get to our fun fact of the day. So my kids love Legos. Fun fact of the day, in 1958, the Lego brick is patented. The Lego company has produced since 500 billion Lego elements, amounting to 10 Lego towers from Earth to the moon. And a Lego brick made in 1958 is actually still compatible with bricks produced today. So whether your kids love Legos, or if you hate Legos because you've stepped on them in the middle of the night and your kids leave them all over the place like mine do, today is a Lego day, I guess. All right. I do see one other question. Another thing that has popped up with our bid buy trainings is we are getting feedback from some agency personnel that they're unaware for small purchases less than $10,000 that the small purchase designation memo needs to be attached. So it's a part of your job aid and it's on there, but just as a quick reminder for those of you that may not understand or know what that process is, so for a small purchase designation memo needs to be attached for those small purchases less than $10,000 that isn't receiving SPO approval. So the procurement code talks about procurement authority starting with the CPO's office at $1. However, the small purchase designation memo is designed so that agencies can go ahead and do their procurements in less than $10,000. Now, greater than $10,000, it's going to be approved by the SPO anyway at the bid stage and bid buy. However, for those that are less than $10,000, make sure that you're attaching that small purchase designation memo. Every agency has one on file, and if you don't have one, contact me, and we'll make sure that you guys have one. And there's my email, david.luttrell@illinois.gov. Thanks for that reminder. All right, if we don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and end the call. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a ring, give me an email. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thank you.